dear crochet friends, welcome back to my channel Yarnivores, and today we're going to be making this cute mobile sling bag. I've made this button also using just thread because I didn't want to use a plastic or a wooden button. And I'll also be doing another video tutorial in which I'll show you how to make different types of cords. So this here is a shrimp cord. I'll also teach you how to make an eye cord, and you can use these on any of the bags that you're using. And for this project here, I'm using cotton yarn, and I will be using a 3mm hook. So let's create some crochet magic on Yarnivores. So for this pattern, I'm going to be starting with a slip knot, and we are going to chain 24 for this pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so now that we have our chain of 24, we are not going to count this first chain out of which this loop is coming onto the hook. So starting from the second chain, we are going to do one single crochet, and we are going to do 22 single crochets. We've chained 24, we skipped the first one that is coming onto the hook, and we are going to do 22 single crochets here. And when you finish your 22 single crochets, you should still have one last chain left. So let me work this quickly. I'll do it on camera because we have very few chains. We are working on a small pattern here, so I don't want to pause the video, so I'll just do it on camera. So please have the patience. Of course, you can stop the video, pause it, and then you can catch up at the end of the round. But yeah, it's fun talking to you, and while I'm making this, I don't want to put background music because it's very disturbing when we are learning. I have seen some videos where they just put the stitch count on to the screen, and there is no audio, and I find them very boring to work with. So I like to make my videos giving all the instructions on screen in audio. I don't have a written pattern, but you can play this, stop, pause, and play whenever you want. And here we are at the end of the last, we've worked 22 single crochets, and I have this one chain left. So into this chain here, we are going to work 3 double crochets. We chained 24, and then we did 22 single crochets starting from the second chain from the hook, and into this last chain we are doing 3 single crochets. After you do your 3 single crochets here, now this is where we started, this end, and then we work 22 single crochets. Into the last stitch we have worked 3 single crochets. Now you're going to turn your work and you're going to work on the opposite side. So you can just weave in this end while you're doing. So you will find your first crochet on first stitch on this side, and you're simply going to do 21 single crochets on this side, and we will still have the last one left. So work your way till the end of the row. 11, 18, 19, 20, 21. So on the first side we work 22 single crochets, and into this last one we work 3 single crochets. On this side, the opposite side, we have worked 21 single crochets, and we still have one last one left. We already done one single crochet on the other side, so to balance it out we are going to do 2 more single crochets into this last chain. After you do 2 single crochets, now both the sides are balanced. This is going to form the base of our mobile bag. Okay, after this, doing 2 single crochets, you are going to simply slip stitch onto the top of the first stitch here. And now we're going to begin the next row. Here we are going to chain 2, but the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, it is just a turning chain. For the second row, we are going to be working double crochets, but we are going to work them only in the back loop of each of the stitch. If you can see here closely, we have this V. This is your front loop and this is your back loop. So for this row only, we are going to work in to the back loops only, and we are going to do 1 double crochet into each of the single crochet you've done in the last round. No increases. I suggest you use a stitch marker so that you know where to do your slip stitch when you come back at the end of the round. This chain 2 here does not, the chain 2 here does not count as a stitch. So this is your first double crochet, and we are working only the back loops for this particular row. So you're going to do simply 1 double crochet into the back loop of each of the stitches that we did in the last row. So please work your double crochets, 1 double crochet into each back loop, and I will meet you when I come back here to do the slip stitch. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of the row, so I just have these last 2-3 double crochets to finish. So at the end of this round, if you've got your stitch count correct, you should have 48 double crochets. Okay, this is the first chain from which this chain 2 is coming, so we will not be working into this. After you've done your 48 double crochets, you're going to slip stitch onto the top of the first double crochet that we made, not on top of the chain 2. The chain 2 does not count. So again, for the next row, we are going to do chain 2. So you can see that already this is the base of the bag. That is, we are going to do a solid base so it can hold the weight of your phone. And after the solid base here, we will be working this lacy tulip pattern. And for this row, now we've done chain 2. This does not count as a stitch. From this row onwards, we are going to work into both the loops. So last row we worked only into the back loop. So from this row onwards, into the same chain where you did the chain 2, you are going to work your first double crochet. So again, I am putting a stitch marker so I know where to do my slip stitch when I come back and I don't miss any stitches. So for this row and the next row, we are simply going to do 1 double crochet into each of the stitches, but this row we are working into both the loops. From now we'll work into both the loops. So you're simply going to do 1 double crochet into each of the stitches around, and you should have 48 stitches at the end of this round, and the next round is going to again be a repeat of this round, which is just you finish this row and you slip stitch to the top, and you're going to do 2 chains. That's your starting chain. It does not count as a stitch, and into the same chain you will do 1 double crochet, and you will do 1 double crochet into each of the stitches around. It's very simple and it will give you that solid base. And then we will be starting the pattern after we finish these 2 rows of our double crochets. So I'm going to quickly do these 2 rounds of double crochets, and you just need to make sure that at the end of this round and the next round you have a total of 48 double crochets. You don't have to do any increases. When you're turning, you simply just come on to this side and you just do 1 double crochet into each stitch. Count your stitches at the end of the row, because if there is a mistake you can correct it in this row itself instead of making, because the pattern will not work if you have extra stitches. There are some patterns in which 1 or 2 extra stitches can be adjusted and we can make them work, but for this pattern it will show, and if you don't have the right number of stitches, the tulip rows will also go wrong. So just make sure to count your stitches again and again and make sure that you have 48 double crochets at the end of this 3rd row and also the 4th row. So we should totally have 3 rounds of double crochets. Like this is the base one which we worked into back loop only, then we have 2 rows of double crochets. So just work around 2 rows, and I'll meet you when I'm going to slip stitch my next row. Okay, so here I am at the end of the 2nd row of my double crochet. Totally we will have 3 rows. So we already did one row of back loop double crochet, then 2 rounds of double crochets, and I have 48 stitches here. And now I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. At the end of this round, your work should look like this. You should have 3 rows of double crochets. Okay, so now we are going to start the pattern. For this pattern, now we are going to, if you can see that we have to make this base, these boxes on which then we are going to work the petals, and this is a row of tulips, and we have a repeat 3 times. We are repeating the tulips, and we will start with chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. So into the same stitch I'm going to do 1 double crochet, and this is my first stitch. I'm putting a stitch marker here. Okay, and for this row we are going to, after we do our first double crochet, we are going to simply chain 2, and this is the stitch into which you worked. You skip 2 of them. Into this 3rd stitch I'm going to work 1 double crochet. So this is our first double crochet, chain 2, we are skipping 2 at the bottom, and you're doing another double crochet, then chain 2, and you will skip the next 2 and you will work a double crochet into the 3rd stitch. Again you're going to chain 2 and you're going to skip the next 2 and you're going to work a double crochet into the 3rd stitch, chain 2. This is the one, it is the last stitch is from, you skip the next 2 and into this stitch here we are going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2. This is already worked. 1 2 we are skipping, and we are going into the 3rd chain to do a double crochet. So this is already worked, so you're skipping these 2 and going into this stitch here. Every 3rd stitch you're going to work 1 double crochet, and you're going to chain 2 and you're going to skip 2 in your base row. So you're going to chain 2, we're going to skip these 2, and we're going to come on to this next chain here, going to chain 2, and this is worked. We are going to skip these 2 and we're going to do a double crochet, going to chain 2, and now we're going to work the other side. Similarly, we've done work this chain, we're going to skip these 2 and we are going to go into this chain here, and we're going to do a double crochet followed by chain 2, skip 2, and we go into the next one with a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2. It's a simple pattern repeat, and we are just going to repeat 3 rows after this, 3 rows of tulips, and then we will just do 2 normal rows on top of 48 double crochets, and then we will finally do our final row. So this is skipping 2, and we're going to do double crochet and chain 2. We're skipping these 2, we're coming into this to do a double crochet, and we're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip these 2. This is your starting chain, so you don't work into this chain, and don't slip stitch on top of the chain 2. That does not count as a stitch. These 2 chains here don't count. Go on top of the first double crochet, and we have done a slip stitch. Okay, after you do a slip stitch, we are going to chain 1, and we're going to cut this yarn, because now we are not going to work with this color. You can weave in the yarn, or you can carry the tail along when you do the next. So now here, so for this petal we are using green. So what you're going to do is, where you did the slip stitch, not the chain 2 but your first double crochet, you're going to bring in the green. You can use whatever color you want for the tulip. Like this one I've done purple. I'm working on another one in which I'm doing it yellow, and for this project I'm going to be doing this pink. So but for the petal row the green looks nice. So here in for this row, now we are going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4. So there's no chain 2 in this row. We are directly going to chain 4, and this chain 4 here counts actually as 1 double crochet. 3 chains will be 1 double crochet, and the fourth chain will be the space, chain 1 space, and we're going to go back into the same space, and we're going to do a double crochet. So this is basically a V cluster. Is 3 chains equal to 1 double crochet. The fourth chain is our 1 space and another double crochet. So this is a V stitch, and we will not do any chains in between. We will go directly to our, we worked on top of this the starting double crochet. Now we'll go into this second double crochet, and here we are going to do 1 double crochet. We are going to chain 1, and we're going to go back into this same double crochet and work another. So see, we have this V here. The first one is a chain 4 and a double crochet. So this is a V, this is a V. We don't do any chains. We go directly into our next double crochet here, and we're simply going to do 1 double crochet, chain 1, that is the space, and we are going to work back 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Next, into the next double crochet, you're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, and we have our next V. Jump on to the next double crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. So you have these V stitches and these chain 1 spaces between both the double crochets. This is where we are going to work our tulips in the next row. So jumping on to the next double crochet here, so we do 1 double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. Okay, and here on to the next one, on top of the double crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch for our second double crochet, going on into the next one, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the next. For 1 double crochet, we're going to chain 1, we're going to do 1 double crochet again. Moving on to the other side, on top of the next double crochet, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, the pattern works up really quickly because we are mostly working with double crochets, and it gives a lot of height in just 1 row. So we're just going to do 3 repeats of the tulips, because that's, I think, more than enough to hold any normal smartphone. So most of the phones will fit into it. In fact, you can fit a few other things also along with your phone. And the strap, I've made it long enough so you can use it as a crossbody sling bag also. It's very convenient and it looks really, really pretty in any bright colors that you're working the tulips in. Okay, so now I've worked this one and this is my last double crochet. So here I'm going to do one double crochet, chain one, and one double crochet. Okay, between the V's there are no chains. There is only one between the two double crochets. Once you finish one V, you jump on to the next double crochet directly. So after doing my last V, remember we did a chain 4 in the beginning. Okay, this was one double crochet and one chain. So our double crochet would mean 3 chains. So on top of the third chain, here I'm going to do a slip stitch on top of the third chain here. It's a little difficult to get into because it's a chain and it's not a proper double crochet. Okay, so onto the top of that, now you can see the V clearly. This is the fourth chain. This is chain 3 double crochet. This, the fourth chain was our space, so we have a proper V. So after doing this, you're simply going to chain 1 and you're going to cut this thread because we're not going to work with green now. We will be bringing it in again for the second row of the tulip. Now we're going to start the tulip row. Okay, okay, so the same place where we did our, this is the place where we have done our first V. So going into the space between the two double crochets into the V stitch, we are going to introduce the color of tulip, whatever color you're making your tulip in. So you bring in the thread and you're going to do a chain 2. Okay, whatever color you're working with. Bring in the color in the center of this V. In between this, the chain 2 here does not count as a stitch, and you're going to do 4 double crochets into the center. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. After you do 4 double crochets, see, you can see the top. It's 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're going to go into the top of the first double crochet and you're going to pull the loop of the last double crochet through this. Hold on to this stitch, it might just slip off, so you can pull it a little higher when you remove your hook. Like, you can remove it, push it up a little bit, and then you're simply going to I slipped it myself, just wait, give me a moment. I'm going to work it again. Seem to be fumbling a lot today. Sometimes it just happens. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The fourth one, hold on to it, go on top of the first one, bring this one, and after you bring it through, you're going to chain 2. Okay, so this is our first tulip. We have done chain 2 as a starting chain, which is not counted. Then we've done 4 double crochets here, and you remove the hook from the last one, put it into the first one and pull the loop through. And after you finish your tulip, every time you're going to do this chain 2, and then this is our first V, this is our second V. We go directly into the second V and we're going to do 4 double crochets into the second V. So that's 2, 3 and 4. So pull this one, hold it with your thumb if you like, go into the first double crochet. This is the top of our first double crochet. Pull this loop through your first double crochet and you're going to chain 2. After that, you're going to go directly into the middle of the V, which is here. Go into this V and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull this up a little bit. Go back to your top of your first double crochet. Just loop through and bring it onto the other side, and you're going to do chain 2. So we already have 3 of our tulips. Do chain 2 and go directly into the next V space here. And we're going to do again 4 double crochets into this V space. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold this, go into the first double crochet top, pull this loop through, do your chain 2, go into your next V space. There. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold it here, go into the first double crochet. It's slipping again. Get it through and chain 2 onto the next V. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold on to the loop, bring it to the other side, do your chain 2 and onto the next V space. 4 double crochets. This is so much fun to make, and the contrasting colors are just popping, and it gives such a pretty look when you finish 3 rounds of this tulip. It's really summery and very nice. So we've done one more tulip, and we are going to go not into this space but in between these V's we created in the last row. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go on to the top, bring this loop, pull it through onto the other side, and you're going to do 2 chains. Go on to the next, and you're just going to repeat your 4 double crochets. 3, 4. Hold on to this loop here, bring the loop through onto the other side, do your chain 2, jump on to the next V space, pull them tight so there's not big gaps in your double crochets. 2, 3, and 4. On top of the first double crochet, pull your loop through, do your chain 2, and onto the next V space for 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold on to the top, bring your loop in through the other side, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2 chains. We just got a few more to work. I'll work this row with you together, and you can do the repeats by yourself. You're going to do 2 more rows. I'll show you how to start the pattern after the tulip is made, how to start the next repeat. Okay, this is the first time we are doing it. You have to repeat it 2 more times after this, and I'll show you how to start the next row. Or of course you can pause and you can rewind to the place where I'm starting the pattern. where I'm making these boxes. That is the base row for the pattern. And we are going to do our last 2 tulips. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold on to this. Go into the first double crochet, pull it, do your 2 chains, and we are on to our last tulip here. This is the last V stitch. So I do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And don't forget to do this chain 2 after your last tulip. Okay, once you've done that, now where to slip stitch. Now on top of the tulip there is a gap because you've put your hook into the first double crochet and pulled the last one through. So if you poke your needle in the center, there is a gap. So you do simply, you're going to slip stitch into this gap and you're going to chain 1 and you're going to cut off this color. Okay, so at the end of this round, this is what your work should look like. 3 rows of double crochet, 1 row of these boxes, 1 row of petals, and 1 row of tulip. So now I told you that you have to repeat 2 more rows of tulip. So how do we go on to the next row? So here we have to bring in our base color once again. Okay, if you remember, we had 48 double crochets here on top of which we've done the boxes. So you need to get 48 double crochets. So go into the same chain, the middle of the tulip where you finished your slip stitch, and bring in your main color. That will be white or off-white or whatever light contrasting color that you're using as a base for the bag. You're going to chain 2, that does not count as a stitch, and you're going to go back into that stitch. Go back into the center of that stitch and you're going to do 1 double crochet. So this is your first double crochet, not counting the chain 2. This is the top of your first double crochet. So we've done 1 double crochet on top of the first tulip. Then you have this space between the 2 tulips. We did a chain 2, remember, after we finished the tulip to get on to the next tulip. So in this space we are going to work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. So 1 on top of the tulip, 2 in the space. Again go into the middle of the tulip, pull up the thread and do 1 double crochet. So again, this is coming from the middle of the tulip. Then between the 2 tulips, you're going to do 2 double crochets. There. 2 double crochets, and into the middle of the tulip, you're going to put 1 double crochet. It's coming from the middle of the tulip, and put 2 double crochets into the space between the tulips, going into the center for 1 double crochet. Make sure it's coming from the center of the tulip. Then we have 2 double crochets in the space, going into the center, 1 into the space, 2. There. So 2 in the space, 1 on top. So 1 on top, 2 in the space. Just find the gap in the center of the tulip, pull up and do 1 double crochet on top of it, 2 double crochets into the space between the tulips, 1 on top, and gonna do 2 in the space. On to the next tulip, from the center, 1 double crochet into the space, 2 double crochets. So this is what it should look like. What we are basically doing is we are creating this 48 double crochets on top of the tulips so that you can start your next line of boxes. Okay, so we've done 2 in the space, Now we are going to do one top of the tulip, work back 2 in the gap, and we're working 1 on top, 2 in the gap, two in the gap, one on top, okay, a few more, go back into the top. This is a little bit tricky getting your hook through the top of the tulip, but with practice it just comes. You know that there is a gap because you've done a double crochet, you pulled the loop from the first to the last, so you just have to find the space. Make sure that your yarn doesn't split and you don't bring in the color of the tulip into this. So simply find the center, poke it, bring it out, and 2 into the gap, and here we are already at the end of this round. So into the last tulip, the center, you've done 1. Don't forget to put in 2 double crochets into this space. Just to make sure after you complete this row, you're going to count your stitches and make sure that you have 48 double crochets. The count will remain the same throughout and you will have 48 double crochets. So this is again your chain 2. Don't slip stitch on that, but on top of your first double crochet. Okay, so see, now we've created this first row of tulip. After the first row of tulip, we have done 1 on top of the tulip and 2 into the space, whereby we've created the base 48 double crochets that you have. And you know that after working the 48 double crochets, now you need to work these boxes. So we will continue with the same color. Don't cut off this color, and you're going to do chain 2. That does not count. Go into the same space again and do your double crochet. Put your chain stitch, put your stitch marker, and for the box row, what did we do? We did our first double crochet and we did chain 1, chain 2, and we skipped 2. So this is the chain out of which the first double crochet is coming. You will skip these 2, go into the stitch that is coming from the middle of the tulip. That is your third stitch. You're skipping. Every time you're going to skip these 2 in the center, and you're going to go into the third one and you're going to do your double crochet. So we have our first box. Again, you're going to chain 2. You will skip this and this, which are in the space, into the third one on top of the tulip. You're going to do 1 double crochet and you're going to do chain 2, skip 1, 2 in the space, go into the third one on top of the tulip. If you're doing it right, every time you will be skipping the 2 chains which are in the space and you'll be going into the top of the stitch that is coming from the tulip. That's all you need to make sure, and your spacing will be perfect. So we're quickly working around. You're doing two chains on top, skipping 2 on bottom and going into the third, and again you're going to chain 2. You're going to skip 2 in the space, go into the 1. This will automatically work out if you just have your stitches correct, that you'll be skipping every 2 stitches in the space and working into the ones that are coming from the middle of the tulip. Okay, so we've done this. We're going to skip these 2 and go into this one here, and we're going to do a chain 2, skip 2 in space, go into the third one. You don't even need to count. You know where your next double crochet should be. Skip the 2 in the space, go into the 1 on top of the tulip, and again 2, skip 2, 1 DC, chain 2, into the next, 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2 in space, go into the 1 on top of the tulip, skip these 2, go into the last one here, and don't forget to do your chain 2 before you do your slip stitch to get your last box. Okay, see, we worked into this. We'll be skipping these 2. This is your first chain from which the first stitch from where your chain 2 is coming. We don't work into that one. Remove your stitch marker and you're going to slip stitch to the top of this stitch, and you're going to do a chain 1 and snip off the yarn here, because now we are not working with the base color. What are we going to do? We are going to bring in our second row of green. So what do we do for that? We are going to, this is a tricky row. This is where like you go into this first double crochet, not the chain 2, and this is after you've introduced the green. Remember, this row is not chain 2 but it's a chain 4. And what is the chain 4? It's a 1 double crochet and 1 chain. Remember to go back and put in another double crochet. So this is our first V. Okay, jump directly into the next double crochet here, and what are you going to do to get the V? You're going to do 1 double crochet, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do another double crochet into the same, so you have your V. And going on into the next one, and you're going to do a chain 1, and you're going to do a V. Okay, so this is what you have to do. After this row, after this green row, you will go into the first V and you will do your 4 double crochet and you'll make your tulips. After the tulip, you will do chain 2 and come on to the next V and work your tulip all around. So you will be repeating this 2 more times. 1 more row of tulip here, then 1 row of 48 double crochets like we did here, 2 into the space and 1 on top of the tulip. So you'll do 48 double crochets around. Then you'll do your boxes by doing 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2. Then you'll do a row of V clusters with green, and you'll do a row of tulip. After that, after the third row of tulips, you will still work 1 row of 48 double crochets on top of the tulip, and you will do 1 row of solid double crochets like we have done here, just 1 whole round of double crochets. Just repeat the tulips 3 times and 2 rows of 48, and I'll show you how to finish the top of the bag. Okay, I'll see you when you finish these rounds. Okay, so I'll show you in this another sample where I have already completed my 3 rows of tulips. After finishing the 3rd row of tulip, I've still done 1 on top of tulip and 2 into space, 48 double crochets, and again I have done 1 more row so that it gives a solid edge to the top. And after finishing the 48 double crochets, you're still going to continue with the base color and go into your first double crochet. I've cut the thread because I was using this to demonstrate the other one. So, but here after doing your 2nd row of 48 double crochets, you will continue with the same color, the base color. You'll do chain 1, you'll go into the next stitch, you'll do a slip stitch. You'll go into the top of the next stitch and you'll do a slip stitch. Go into the next slip stitch. This gives a nice edging and it keeps the top solid. There, slip stitch. Go into each stitch, you'll have 48 stitches, right? So into the stitch, you're going to do a slip stitch. See, you can weave in the ends, but otherwise you can see that the slip stitches on top are giving it a finishing. You can see this. Slip stitch into the next stitch for a slip stitch. Okay, so you're going to slip stitch. We have 48 stitches all around. Okay, so after you do your 12 slip stitches, we started from here. Okay, this is our first double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I have to do one more. 12 slip stitches. Okay, after you do 12, since you have like 48, the front has 24 and the back has 24, so you'll divide this 24 in the front into half, and after you do your 12 slip stitches, here you're going to create a loop for the button. So you're going to simply chain 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What are you going to do? You're going to come back to the same stitch and you're going to do a slip stitch into it. So what have we done? After completing the last row of 48 double crochets, from the first stitch you're going to do 12 slip stitches. On the 12th slip stitch, after you do the slip stitch, you're going to chain 10 and you're going to slip stitch back into the same space, and this we have our loop. Okay, simply go into the next one and do your 12 slip stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, this completes the back side of your pouch. So you've done 12 slip stitches, you've done chain 10, you've done a slip stitch back onto the same stitch, and you've done 12 more. Now for the other side, again you will start 12 slip stitches from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the center. This is the 12th one. But we are not going to make a loop here because we have the loop on the back side. Like this is the back side, the loop. So this is where the button has to come. But we are going to make the button separately and attach. So you will simply mark the 12th stitch here. Okay. So you know that this is the place where the button has to be stitched on. And then you'll simply continue with the rest of the slip stitches. You'll have 12 left. There. 24 on the front side, 24 on the back side. On the back side, after 12 slip stitches, you work 10 chains and slip stitch back to make the loop. In the front, we've simply marked after the 12 slip stitches that this is where our button has to come, so that it will correspond with the loop we've given on the back side. Okay, so I have these last 2 slip stitches left and we are back to the first stitch. So simply go into the first stitch here, do a slip stitch, chain 1, and you can cut off the thread here. And please do weave in the ends on the wrong side, so we know that this is the back side from where you've got this loop, and this is the front side, and this is where the button has to come in. Okay, so your bag is like now made. Let me show you how to make the button. I'll do the strap in a separate video because the video is getting very long. So for this cute button here that we have done, you can of course put a ready-made button also simply, but to create this one, if you're interested, you're going to do a magic ring and you're going to do 10 double crochets into this. 2, 3, 4. If you find it difficult to work a magic ring, you can do chain 5 and slip stitch to the first one. You can create the center ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. After you've done your 10 single crochets into the loop, you can tighten the ring and you're going to simply slip stitch to the first chain. And don't close this ring completely. Don't pull the ring close because we need this hole, and we are going to work. We've done a chain 1. After you do a 10 single crochet into the magic ring or your chain circle that you've created, after doing the 10 single crochets, you're going to slip stitch to the top of the first. You're going to do chain 1, and now we are going to work 15 single crochets into this center ring. Pull it up like this. There. 2. Into the ring. Pull up the thread to maximum length. 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to pull them tight so that you can accommodate 15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, pull it up, 13. Still need to work 2 more into the ring. There is enough space. You just need to pull all these stitches tightly together. There's 14, and my last single crochet into the ring. This is 15. Okay, so now after doing 10 single crochets into that center ring, magic ring, I did chain 1, and here I have done 15 single crochets into the center. Now I'm going to slip stitch onto the top of the first single crochet that I did. I'm going to pull up a long thread, and then I'm going to snip it off. Okay, so we have this long thread. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn it inwards. You can tighten this now as much as possible. Okay, now there is only a small hole left, and you're going to bend and turn it. Give it a shape like this. Okay, so next what we are going to do is we can cut off the center one. We don't need to pull it any tighter. It looks good as it is. And now you're going to use a darning needle, and we've left a long tail, remember? So you're going to, what you're going to do is now slip it through each of these. And in and out. On top of each of the 15 single crochet we have done, you can see this V. This is the top of the stitch. So simply put your darning needle into it from one side, bring it from the other side, again from this side onto the other side, and bring it from here, run it through each of the stitch. Okay, we have a few more stitches left here, there. So we've reached our last stitch here. Now what are you going to do? You're going to pull it tight. There. Just adjust it a little bit and pull it as tight as you can, and you're going to stitch it through. Just make sure that the shape is okay. If they're overlapping, you can just space them a little bit and simply pull it as tight as you can and stitch it across from one side to the other, pulling it tight so it will not open up. There. Okay, I'll do it one more time. Use a sharp needle. Okay, so here is your button. So now what you're going to do is, this is the place where you marked, okay, a 12th stitch on the front side. The 12th stitch on the back side has your loop. So make sure that it is like corresponding, and you're going to simply keep your button in this place and you're going to stitch it to the top. Just bring it up a few times and take it through the bottom of the button. It shouldn't show on the right side, so just there. It has to hold tightly in this place. Bring the needle onto the top side. If you're not able to put it through the button, first what you can do is just bring your needle onto this side and then poke it through the button and bring it onto the back side. See, it's already tight. I'm just going to do it a few more times. I'll bring it up and through the bottom of the button, and I'm going to take it to the underside. There. Do it one more time and bring it to the top side and hold the button down, take it through the bottom of the button and take it to the wrong side, and here you can simply run it through and you can ensure that it's not going to come out. You can knot it a couple of times. There. And you can cut off, and you can also weave in the ends, and there we have our cute button all done and the loop, and here's your bag that's complete. And for the strap, I will be making another video in which I'll show you one or two different ways of making this. This is slightly complicated, but there are simpler ways to make the string. So I'll make that video very soon, and just watch this space. And if you've enjoyed watching this, if the tutorial is useful to you, please do remember to thumbs up, subscribe, and like my work. And please, any comments that you'd like to put in, anything that is not clear, if you'd like me to clarify it for you or show you again, you can message me, you can add it in the comments. If you do follow this tutorial and make a bag, please do share your pictures in the comments. And till next time, bye bye.